January 2007, there was intense media speculation about who would replace Paul Le Guen as the new Rangers manager. When the news broke that 9-in-a-row legend Walter Smith was to return to Ibrox, his spiritual home, it signalled the beginning of a resurgence in confidence and improved results for the team. From his first match in charge, the gaffer, along with assistant Ali McCoist and first-team coach Kenny McDowell, was determined to bring success back to his club. The 10th of January 2007, amid a blaze of media attention, all the speculation was finally ended when Walter Smith was revealed as the new Rangers manager. The man who had helped lead the Light Blues to 9 successive league championships was back at Ibrox, but in many ways the appointment was a surprise to him.
Yeah, you'd never have thought that would happen, because really and truly once you've had your spell, you think to yourself, well, that's it. I've had my spell. I thoroughly enjoyed my spell. It was a successful one, and I never thought for a minute I would have the opportunity to go back, because Rangers, if you're successful, it's there. If you're not, then obviously there's a change of management. But it's it's happened maybe more recently. I certainly hope it doesn't happen shortly, but it's happened maybe more recently that managers have changed. Obviously at the stage I was at in my career, I never looked for that either, and it was a surprise when the chairman phoned and asked me if I would be interested in coming back. It was a big decision to change and come back, and to be quite honest, I wouldn't have done it for any other club.
But no manager works in isolation. Walter Smith brought another legend back to Ibrox. Rangers' most prolific goalscorer Ali McCoist returned, this time to the dugout as assistant manager. His vast experience on the park would prove to be invaluable to every player at the club.
There's a lot of things about Ali McCoist people don't see. They see someone who goes on television and he does his question of sport for a number of years, and they always see this jocular character. But there's a hardness there, and there's a desire to go into football management, and I knew that was the case. So I took him with me as coach to the national team, and he got a little bit of a blooding there, and then I felt it was right to bring him to Rangers with me, and so far they're doing a terrific job for us.
The final post of first-team coach was filled by Kenny McDowell. A Rangers supporter in his youth, he had established a successful 10-year track record at Parkhead before being brought to Ibrox.
Alistair's great, but hadn't worked on a full-time basis, with a club. I just felt it was a good balance there, and hopefully that will still prove to be the case. It's worked out okay so far, but like everything else in football, we have to keep showing that we can handle the situation.
But after all the talk, the proof of the new setup would be on the park. Despite horrendous weather conditions, the crucial first game in charge proved to be the best possible start for the new regime.
No offside this time. Boyd thought he might be offside. And there Charlie Adam going for it. He's done it! Charlie Adam taking advantage of a vacant goal. And that required impeccable accuracy, and they got it. Got to the line, that's a decent ball across there. Pusso still in play. Charlie Adam. Decent one in, and Boyd! How did he miss? There it is! The ball ends up there, crisp. Picked up well by Ferguson. There's the through ball. Noble is onside, have been caught out again, very flat. Then it goes towards Boyd! Goal! Yes, beautifully taken by Boyd. Simply executed on the right. Clinically finished inside. There's a run by Murray. Driven in well, that must be, yes! Boyd again. That's the fourth. Clean as a whistle, good run by Murray. And there's a man who used to put them in the back of the net like that. Enjoying that moment. With Boyd on that beautiful play, Barry Ferguson going in. And he's got to score, beautiful goal. An exquisite goal there. A good linking up play, and that is exactly what the Rangers management will want to see from this player.
That emphatic victory gave everyone a great lift. But Walter Smith knew there were problems which he had to solve if his club was to return to its former glory. It wasn't just a case of restoring the physical performance of the squad, he had to work hard to restore the spirit of the players.
We just had to try and lift everybody's spirits. They were certainly, we were a quiet group, and we had to bring a little bit of confidence back to the team again. Obviously, by getting a result or two, it helps that. But generally speaking, you can go around and start to do that in other ways as well. So we tried to lift the training a little bit, make training enjoyable, make everybody happy to come into their work. And initially, that's I think what anybody would do. There's no great deal of rocket science involved there. So we were just trying to change the environment and hope that that would filter into the games and that we would get an improvement in results.
Novo on for Boyd, and Boyd on for Novo. Nacho Novo worrying Dunfermline again, and Charlie Adams slides in to give Rangers the lead. And after their cup defeat here a fortnight ago, revenge is already in the air.
Walter Smith recognised that new players would have to be brought in. The defence was the first area to work on.
I think there were certain aspects of the defensive play that, if you watch Rangers, the aerial aspect of defending was poor for them, and it was causing them an awful lot of bother. So, I think we looked at that straight away, and I tried to get a couple of people in to obviously try and rectify that situation.
He went for solid experience when he signed 36-year-old David Weir from Everton.
Well, I just felt that I don't think there was any great substitute for experience, and David's got that. He's a fit lad. And I knew from having him time at Everton, he was terrific, and I felt that he could do very well for us, which has obviously proved to be the case.
At the other end of the park, Chris Boyd was keen to impress his new gaffer, and he showed just what he was capable of when Rangers visited his old club in February.
Ferguson for Boyd. Simon Ford went across, and the penalty is given. Here comes Chris Boyd, and here comes 1-0 to Rangers. Ferguson, Burke, Hutton's cross, and Chris Boyd, he does it again. 2-0 for Rangers, and Boyd has trouble in store for his former club once more. Here's Murray. It's not the best. And penalty is given as McGregor collides with Naismith. It is Peter Lieben, and McGregor has stopped it, and Kilmarnock have blown their big chance to get back into the game. Oh, Nacho Novo's in here, this really could wrap it up. And Novo, another penalty! Incredible! Dougie McDonald points to the spot for the third time in this match. It's Chris Boyd. It's a hat-trick. Another perfect penalty for a natural-born goal-scorer.
More new players arrived in the shape of ex-Hibs captain Kevin Thompson on a 4-year deal. To strengthen the defence, Ugo Ehiogu was recruited from Middlesbrough. and he was to become an unlikely hero in the first Old Firm match. Already the feeling was that the team was changing and becoming more of a single-minded fighting unit. This was demonstrated as Rangers powered through their next SPL games.
Up comes Boyd, does he get in? Boyd, he's done it! Sloan has a touch, nobody can get it, and it's gone in! Martin Ferguson!
Adam, oh, he's gone for goal and he's found it. That is brilliant. Hibbs caught out. Adam goes for goal again. Oh no! A terrible howler from Simon Brown. What is it with Hibbs goalkeepers this season?
No idea.
Those results set the team up for one of the biggest games of the season. Celtic Park, never an easy venue. This time the Old Firm clash had an added dimension. Celtic were determined not to lose to a Rangers manager who had caused them so much heartache in the past. They threw everything at the Ibrox side. Walter and his assistant had been through that many times in the past.
Celtic were by far a better side in the first half of the game. We had to make one or two adjustments at half time, and it was a terrific result. And you could see at the end of that game, you know, that every one of the boys who had maybe been at the end of defeats to Celtic over the last few games were obviously delighted that they were winners for a change.
Vinegal of Hesseling. And Van der Snow helps it through to McGeady. It didn't go naturally into his path, but McGeady's cross is cleared by Murray. And Rangers survive again. Hemdani. McGeady. Ferguson takes over. Hemdani. Ferguson. Hutton. Advancing, but McManus with a typical challenge. Rangers looking for an unlikely breakthrough early in the second half. Charlie Adam. Philip Shebo. David Weir. Was that a shove by Ekiog? McManus left on the ground, and Hugo Ekiog has turned it in. That is so against the run of play today, but that's football. It's Celtic 0, Rangers 1. It's unlikely. It's incredible.
Would you believe it? It's a great finish as well. So difficult to do this. Celtic can't get the ball away, that's the problem. Echo goes up for the first one, comes back in again, and just look at this. Unbelievable. It really is. Comes back in, it's a good challenge from Weir. Miller can't get there, and that's a striker's finish. A big lad, he gets his back down, his right leg over. Fantastic technique. Boric gets a hand to it, it's not strong enough though.
McGeady. Wilson. It would not be unlike Celtic to score here. In by Lennon, out by Weir. It's over. After 9 years out of the Old Firm cauldron, Walter Smith is back in it, and he hasn't lost his magic touch. And there was a fantastic touch too from Hugo Ekiog to fire in the winner early in the second half. And the Rangers fans celebrate a rare victory over their fierce rivals here at Celtic Park.
Rangers hadn't won at Celtic Park for 2 years, and that result was a huge psychological boost for them. The championship may have been out of reach, but the fight for second position and a place in Europe was now the goal for the Ibrox men. The only team who could catch them were their next opponents, and Chris Boyd would be the hero.
Charlie Adam. Boyd trying to go around the back. Here's Ferguson. Achinogo. Flicks it inside. Boyd is there. Tries to go for it himself. Too many touches on the ball, Rangers. There's Boyd with a header. He's done it. One once again, Chris Boyd is to the fore, scoring his 23rd goal of this season. Murray, Charlie Adam, with that nicely. Here's a chance and Boyd's done it again! Just touched away. David Weir to Papac, that's good play by Rangers. Back to Noble. Hutton's going in the far side. There's Hutton on the run. Might just get in there, he does. Puts it back, then a Pussell! A superb goal by, and Boyd rattles that in.
But the charge faltered against a team that Rangers had found hard to beat. On the last day of March, Inverness Cally Thistle managed to leave Ibrox with a draw.
Charlie Adam, that's it! A double whammy for Inverness.
But normal service was resumed at Love Street when after only 4 minutes the unstoppable Nacho Novo got the winner.
Novo takes over and feeds Charlie Adam on loan here last season. Adam seeking out Boyd, and it's Nacho Novo to fire Rangers into an early lead. Just what St Mirren feared.
However, in their next match, Rangers were staring defeat in the face when they went behind to a Velicka goal after only 15 minutes.
Hutton picking up, still Hutton, good run by Hutton, can he cut it back? He does, and it's there! Gavin Ray has equalised. A brilliant run by Hutton. Tussle could get this, and he does. I think he was being fouled there, but the play goes on. Barry Ferguson! Oh, it's a great goal by Ferguson! A superb strike by the Rangers captain. And on the balance of play in the second half, fully merited.
That win was vital, as third-placed Aberdeen had drawn at Hibs. The determination not to give up after going behind would have to be called upon again in the very next game. In an epic battle at Easter Road, Rangers had to fight back into contention not once, but 3 times.
But I think that's something that develops along the way. You know, people talk about team spirit and talk about having that. Well, as it's a must for any team. And one of the easiest ways for a team to show that they have that is if they go down, to show a good reaction to that.
Driven in hard, it's in. Charlie Adam goes right through with that. I don't think there was a touch in that ball at all. Again, he's not accurate with that pass. Oh, that's a brilliant goal by McCann. Ball played inside there to Charlie Adam. Bit of ball there. Hutton going on the outside, good run by Hutton, can he put it in? Yes! Brilliant goal by Hutton. The equaliser, and I think the most improved player at Ibrox since the return of Walter Smith. Shields the take. Martus is up. Woodson! Whittaker! What an astonishing game! And it comes straight in towards goal, and it's happened again! You would never believe it! It's simply incredible. I mean, what can you say? I always hate being hard on young players, but quite frankly, he's had a nightmare again.
That remarkable fight back set them up for another massive encounter, the last Celtic game of the season. 2 days before the 10th anniversary of 9 in a row, the ancient rivals met at Ibrox. Everyone at the club and the supporters wanted to prove how strong Rangers had become. A victory would also secure a Champions League place.
Aberdeen were chasing us, for second place. We had to win all our games, never mind the Celtic games. But that supporters' perspective, looking at the Celtic games for a bit of comfort, if you like, in terms of how the team would do, and a bit of bragging rights towards the end of the season there. So it meant then that was 2 wins against Celtic, which does a lot for the team's confidence overall.
Hutton. Over the top for Novo, and Charlie Adam, and Boyd went to ground. Papach. Hutton. Tearing forward superbly, Alan Hutton, and he got it across, but Manus was there to meet it. Nacho Novo. Chris Boyd! It's the first time he's ever scored against Celtic. It means so much to Chris Boyd, and Rangers are 1-0 up against the champions.
What a way to score your 100th SPL goal. Got to say as well, this was coming. He's not offside. He times his run well this time, and he waits and waits. It comes across on his left foot. It's not the best strike he's ever had, but it's enough, and it's under the body of Boric. He's going the wrong way. He's dragged towards the ball. I do think Boric is at fault. He's got to do better than that. It's not that far away from him, but let's take nothing away from the finish.
Turned away by Presley, but sent back in his direction by Charlie Adam, and now Chris Boyd bearing down on goal again. Boyd, Thompson stretching. Novo! Nacho Novo close to doubling Rangers' lead. Papach for Hemdani. Ferguson. Brushed aside by Hartley, free kick. Here comes Charlie Adam. Oh, it's another fantastic free kick for Charlie Adam to add to his collection.
What a clever free kick. Caught everyone unaware.
That result dispelled any doubts about Rangers' ability to fight for the championship in the season ahead. The sheer hard work of Walter Smith and his coaching staff had paid off. They knew they could take on any challenge that Celtic could mount and compete head-to-head with them for the title. In the short time he had been in charge, the gaffer was generally satisfied with the team's progress.
Was our focus was to make sure that we gained enough points to finish second in the league. We were already out of the Scottish Cup, but we were also in a situation there where we didn't have very many players to choose from. We had some injuries in that squad. We worked hard at it, and the players applied themselves in a terrific manner. At times you join a club and you set a target, and that target is an unfortunate one because nobody wants to finish second, they want to finish first, but it was all we knew we had to play for it at that time.
Outside the SPL, Rangers had also competed in European football that season. After Walter returned, they played Tel Aviv and Osasuna in the UEFA Cup and reached the last 16 of the competition. Although eventually losing to the Spanish side, these encounters gave the squad valuable experience for the Euro campaign ahead and produced some memorable nights for the supporters.
On to Noble. Noble flicks the ball over Barry Ferguson! What a finish! Lucas. Giving it away, Chris Boyd steps in! Careless in the back from Hapoel Tel Aviv! Cushion moving forward, Barry Ferguson! Rangers go through to the last 16 of the UEFA Cup. Hutton cuts in, Charlie Adam! Charlie Adam scores and wraps it up for Rangers. One front knocks it away onto Hemdani. Hemdani on the right foot. Hemdani goes to goal! He picked it perfectly, and
It may seem obvious that players work in harmony during a match, but for a successful club, the coaching staff also have to work closely together to ensure the smooth running of the team, both on and off the pitch.
The managerial aspect where you're obviously in charge of everything and responsible for all appointments and signings. But close behind that, you have a close affinity with your staff. Assistant manager and first team coach are always in discussion with you, as with every aspect, from fitness, from training, recruitment of players, every aspect of it they're involved with. So, you have to have a close bond there, and although, we all hadn't worked together on a full-time basis before, I was sure that we'd manage to get on, and the first few months that we've been working there, it's been great.
The summer transfer window provided an opportunity to strengthen the side once again. American midfielder DeMarcus Beasley was bought from PSV Eindhoven. The transfer of lightning-quick striker Jean-Claude Darcheville was an excellent piece of business when he arrived from Bordeaux on a Bosman deal. A highly experienced defender who isn't wary about coming forward, Spaniard Carlos Cuellar was signed from the UEFA Cup opponents Osasuna. From the Scottish market, Walter brought in Stephen Whittaker from Hibs, alongside fellow defender Kirk Broadfoot from St Mirren. Powerful striker Daniel Cousin also signed a 3-year deal and a move from French side Lens. And after trying to sign him in January, Scotland hero Lee McCulloch finally became a Rangers player in July, fulfilling his boyhood ambition. Then, in a last-minute midnight deal, striker and lifelong Rangers fan Stephen Naismith was recruited from Kilmarnock. It was an impressive list of talent for a manager who was building a team to challenge the SPL and Europe, especially in the economic climate of today's game.
We actually spent a little bit more money than we meant to in a close season, but I suppose that's normal. But no, I think that, from our own point of view, when I sat down with the chairman, he pointed out that we would have this amount of money to spend. We knew that if we were to go into the new season with the same amount of players, we would have the same problems we had last season. It wouldn't have mattered if we changed a few rounds. We needed far more than we had to cover us for all eventualities. We've done that, and as I say, we're still in the throes of settling down at the present moment.
Walter Smith had to assemble his new team in a very short space of time before he was faced with an important fixture. In July, Rangers began the fight to qualify for the Champions League group stages when they met Montenegrin side FK Zeta at Ibrox.
When you come back to pre-season training, you have to devote most of the time to players' fitness. We have to get them up and playing. We also knew that we had to get them some, match practice. We also knew we had to try and form a new team. It's okay saying that you're bringing in X number of players and you're going to have a bigger squad, but we still have a team to form. We still have to lay that down. And we knew that going into the Zeta game, having our first match before any league games or any Scottish matches at all, we had to play what is one of the more important games of the season.
Another season gets underway in the month of July. It's the round of the Champions League with no safety net. Rangers have to win to make sure they've got European football. They have to win this tie. They immediately go forward quickly. Chris Boyd, is this the quickest ever? He hits the post. 9 seconds gone. That should have been the fastest goal in Rangers European history. Ferguson back to Noble. Trying to find space. Drags the ball through from Ivanovic. Noble played it in. Kumbasevic knocked it away. Turned back in by Weir. That's going to be a chance for Rangers. Darcheville will clear it. And the referee allows the goal. Zeta are absolutely furious that a free kick has not been awarded.
Well, I see David Weir's trying to claim the goal. Darcheville goes in, the goalkeeper doesn't get a touch. He's not even close to the ball. For me, it's David Weir's goal.
So Rangers leading by 1-0. Ferguson plays it in, the goalkeeper. Well, it's a bit of a disaster there. Noble goes in, was that a free kick? The referee has said no, it's a goal. The goalkeeper goes a-wandering in Govan from the place he should have been, and Lee McCulloch celebrates.
In the first match in the SPL, the focus may have been on the new summer signings, but it was the well-established players in the shape of Captain Barry Ferguson and the mercurial Nacho Novo who would bring all 3 points back from Inverness.
McCulloch into the path of Barry Ferguson! That is a very special goal. A captain's contribution. Fabulous finish from Ferguson, and Rangers lead against their bogey team. Wilson lays it off. Wyness and Rankin, and Carlos Cuellar stood firm.
Well, that was a tackle, wasn't it? That would have been a real goal-scoring chance. He got a shot off.
Lee McCulloch has got a bit to do, but Nacho Novo's there with him. Novo! Brilliant! Nacho Novo comes off the bench to double Rangers' lead. Cali Thistle gave them a torrid time last season, but revenge is in the air. It's payback time. Yes, there'll be a different proposition when Graham Bain is fit, and if Marius mistake from Tokley, and Barry Ferguson scores his second of the game. Tokley's error, Ferguson nipped in. Rangers couldn't beat Cali Thistle last season, but they've well and truly beaten them here.
Only 3 days later, Rangers were once again in European action. The return leg in Montenegro continued the trend of new players scoring on their debuts. Next up was DeMarcus Beasley, who scored the winning goal in his first European appearance.
Ferguson. Rangers continuing to control. Thompson having his jersey pulled, but he continues. Ferguson on to Beasley. Thompson wants it. Beasley's going to go himself. Wrap the right foot round. Rangers are through to the third round of qualifying in the Champions League. DeMarcus Beasley scores for the first time for Rangers. A nice drive. It opened up for him. And it's Zeta 0, Rangers 1.
The next debutant to score was Daniel Kuzan on his first appearance for his new club, giving the supporters just a flavour of what the future could hold.
Hutton plays it down. There's Ferguson. He's done it. Beautiful goal by Ferguson. McCulloch and then Boyd. Nice little chest down. Trying to get that nice little flick inside. Nacho Novo missing up. Here's Beasley. Beasley going in now with a chance. There's a new man and he's going to score. He has. Daniel Kuzan on his debut.
I was just a little bit concerned we didn't have overall cover for strikers. Thomas Buffel just coming back from injury. It was going to be, well into the season before he was coming back. And we get the opportunity to get Daniel, and he came in. He's played well for us and scored a terrific goal. Not only in the Champions League, but in his league debut and others. He's been doing very well for us. So, as I say, once we settle down, I think we'll see more of him.
The punishing schedule of fixtures continued 72 hours later when Rangers played the second match of the Champions League qualifying stage. Red Star Belgrade were the opposition, and a home win would be vital if the dream of the group stages was to be realised. But as the clock ticked down towards the 90th minute, it seemed as if the Ibrox men would have to win abroad just to stay in the competition.
Brought forward by Kuzan. Ferguson running in. The opportunity! The side net is rattled. Nacho Novo was inside wanting the pass. 3 European goals last season for Barry Ferguson as Walter Smith comes back pitch side. Ibrox, the roar. Rangers on once more against Red Star. Little flick on. Barry Ferguson goes through. Nacho Novo! Nacho Novo gives Rangers the lead they so desperately wanted to take to Belgrade. And it's the man who's so popular around these parts. Nacho Novo with a goal. Rangers take the lead.
Well, it's been frustrating. It's been a long time coming. But you can't ask for a better finish. Clean sheet, a 1-goal lead, but Novo. Important goal, you can see him there on it in a flash, left foot shot, drills it in. It's a huge goal for Rangers, I've got to say.
That goal proved to be the key to the Champions League group stage and the financial rewards it would bring. Rangers achieved a goalless draw in Belgrade, which meant they earned their place in the greatest club competition in the world.
I felt overall played very well and managed to get through there with, when you look back on it, a level of comfort. It wasn't very comfortable during the night. It's a strange situation, the qualification games for the Champions League. It does feel as though that you've won something by getting yourself, into that environment. But it was a hard 4 games. So we were delighted that we managed to get ourselves involved in the Champions League.
Raising the game to European standards often has a powerful effect on the domestic fixtures, and when Rangers returned from the celebrations in Belgrade, Falkirk were the unfortunate opponents who suffered as a result. The debut goals continued, this time from Stephen Whittaker and Kirk Broadfoot.
Both of them superb in the air. Quella on the edge of the box, moving in. There's just on the bar, and in again, it's Mafian Kuza. Daniel Kuza puts it in, and Rangers are in the lead in exactly 55 seconds. Now Thompson. And it goes. Whittaker now. He's got it forward. Oh, what a goal! Brilliant goal in his debut for Stephen Whittaker. It's on to Ferguson. Neat touch there by Ferguson. And it goes to Nachanovo. There's Kuza. Oh, what a strike! He really did make sure that time, as the Falkirk defence was ripped wide open. There's the run there by Kuza. Certainly going for it, Kuza. Tries to put it in. Boyd's got it. He's done it. A lot of great work by his co-striker there to get that ball to him. At first it looked as if he might not be able to get it. He had overrun the ball. And that is a cruel blow to Falkirk. Now Hutton. Whittaker just inside him. Here's Whittaker. Decent ball in, and it's up the post and in. The Frenchman Darcheville scores his first goal for the club. 3 minutes of stoppage time to be played. Whittaker still has it. Must be tired. Now, I posed the question at the start of the game whether this man would last the pace or not, given it was his first game. He has, he's still there and still going forward. That's a lovely ball. Ferguson, cross it goes in. Boyd tries to get that in. Darcheville again. His second. Back's got in there. Latavi again. Neatly judged, but goalkeeper's there. And on to Darcheville. Now, could he get his hat-trick, I wonder? In the last 5 minutes of the game, he's going for it, I think. He's going for it. Yes, in again! Broadfoot! Another debut goal. It is now 7. And Falkirk are staggered.
In a short space of time, the team had found success. It's never easy to bring together a varied group of players from many countries and quickly form them into a coherent unit. But Walter Smith regards it as another part of his job.
Well, that's just part of a manager's job, is to handle that situation. It is a little bit awkward sometimes, especially with foreign players. Easy for Scottish players because we have more or less the same mentality, and it's only a player's individual characteristics that you have to look after. I find foreign players fairly simple to deal with. If you're straightforward with them, then you're inclined to get a good reaction from them.
Walter is also keen to dispel the myth that Scottish players have a different attitude to the modern game. To succeed, all professional players have to take every aspect of their career very seriously.
I think they're all very professional. During the season there, we added Adam Owen, sports scientist, to come in, and he's been excellent for us since he came in. and none more so than the Scottish lads. The Scottish lads have taken it all on board as well. I don't think there's any difference between them now. I think football training, the type of training that they do, more or less universal. I don't think there's that many differences between training in Scotland now than there is abroad.
Although there are never any guarantees when signing a player, especially from abroad, Rangers have now put in place a European scouting network led by Ewan Chester.
Getting to see a player as many times as you possibly can is a big thing. It's easier for us obviously to see Scottish players, so one of the things we did do was we had revamped our scouting system when we came in, brought Ewan Chester back, and we're now just about there in terms of getting a network over the whole of Europe, where we hope that we'll be able to identify a player. We'd be told that added knowledge would help us in our own right when we go out and sign a player.
Those measures brought their own rewards. In the SPL, a victory away at Kilmarnock would take Rangers to the top of the league. The win was provided by two of Smith's new players and was helped by the massive support given by the travelling Ibrox fans.
Whittaker tries to take it on. Beasley! Referee had a long, hard look, but the goal does stand. DeMarcus Beasley giving Rangers the lead, and their 100% record set to be maintained. Ferguson, Dashville. Good challenge by O'Leary, and a clean one as well. Beasley, Dashville, Rangers lead. Jean-Claude Dashville, who's been magnificent since coming on, has the goal that puts Rangers back ahead.
Well, it just had to be, didn't it? What a threat he's been. Involved in everything in the second half for Rangers. He gets himself back up after the initial challenge. You can see it just falls for him.
4 new players had scored on their debut, but few had to wait as long as Andy Webster. Andy had come to Ibrox in January from Wigan, but was sadly injured for most of his first season. The Scotland defender finally made his appearance 7 months later.
Anxious to get on with it, it's in! Boyd opens the scoring. There might have been a bit of a deflection there. Webster brilliantly! Andy Webster becomes another Rangers player to score in his SPL debut. Ferguson takes. There's Qualler! Oh, nobody could stop that. Beautiful header. So the two central defenders have scored goals this afternoon for Rangers, and I think that's a reflection of how the game has gone today. Matsunobu, Beasley. Nice little ball out. Darceville, you want to take his man on, and he does. Cuts it back, it's in! Darceville off the goalkeeper, but oh, how he deserves that. Tremendous strength, broad pair of shoulders, flies like a tree trunk, and determination. The goalkeeper could only get his hand to it.
After their first defeat of the season against Hearts, Lee McCulloch was brought back as a striker for Rangers. Everyone knew his potential, and against Aberdeen, he gave the supporters what they were waiting for.
Yes, McCulloch. Wow!
When I came here, he was one of the first players we tried to get. We tried to get him in the January window and couldn't do so. And we had to wait until the end of the season. No, I like him. He's got a good team ethic. He's a good player, and he's always likely to get you a goal. And I think he's one of them that once our team does settle in, I think we'll be expecting big things from Lee.
Lifelong Rangers fan and latest signing Stephen Naismith had made his debut against Gretna to a great reception from the supporters. Against Aberdeen, he repaid them in the best way possible.
There's a very good run forward. Naismith is with it now. Lovely play by Naismith. He's trying to go and he's scored a beautiful goal. That is typical Stephen Naismith. We were waiting for that characteristic burst into the penalty area. Wade. Ferguson. Beautiful little ball there. Wade! Took that beautifully. He's only been on the field 3 minutes and he gets another goal.
It is a testament to how far Rangers have come since the return of Walter Smith that they were now in the greatest club competition in the world, the Champions League. The draw is always a crucial part of determining how difficult the group stage will be, and when Walter heard the opposition, he realised the enormity of the task ahead.
I remember coming back in from training, and that was on the desk as the teams we were going to play in. I felt, oh, goodness sake, we couldn't have got, much more difficult. Draw champions of France, champions of Germany, and although Barcelona finished second in the Spanish League last season, they are undoubtedly among the favourites to win the Champions League. To get off to the start we have done, of winning our first 2 games against Stuttgart and then Lyon, was fantastic. I don't think we could have imagined that we would manage to do that. We knew we were going to get tough games, and sometimes the home matches are as difficult to prepare for and to assess as the away games. The away games we can set our stall out to defend a little bit and then make sure that we attack when we possibly can. But in the home games, the expectation is for us to go out and try and win the game. And sometimes that weakens you a great deal when you're not, a fully settled.
To play, and it really does set Rangers on the way in this group.
The next match was a daunting one. Rangers faced the French champions on their home ground.
I think it's for other people to turn and have a look at it. We look at it as a tremendous victory for us.
That was a momentous week for the Light Blues. Only 3 days earlier they had met their oldest rivals in the first clash of the season. The manager's record against Celtic was remarkable. In 36 games, Rangers had lost only 6 with Smith in charge, and he was determined to win yet again. The match was full of the incidents which make old firm matches unique. In a fiery encounter, 9 Celtic players were booked against 2 Rangers. But as always, it's the result that matters. And for Walter's team and the supporters, it was one they would remember for a long time to come.
Carlos Cuellar and David Weir will trot up. Kuzan, McCulloch in there too. Charlie Adam drills it. Boris takes it. Harry Ferguson desperately tried to get a flick on. Celtic not hanging around. Nakamura and offside. Scott McDonald. McGregor's out sharp anyway. Novo. Kuzan. Ferguson has a little bit of room. That could be ominous for Celtic. Alan Hutton fell over, got back up. And that's a wicked cross! And it's in from Nacho Novo! And Rangers strike first on Derby Day in Glasgow.
You have to say it's all down to Alan Hutton. Ferguson picked the ball up in a great area with tons of space. When he eventually fed the ball to Hutton, look, he gets up Hutton, he slips. One thing on his mind, get that ball in the box. O'D doesn't go and attack it. Caldwell lets it go. And Novo, well, he's the one that puts his head on the end of it.
Here's Charlie Adam, and he's got Novo spare. Novo again! Really? Nakamura does indeed send it in, and it's going to come down here for Caldwell to have a go, and again. The route blocked.
Well, that was some strike. He caught that one very well, Caldwell. I think it's McGregor that stands his ground.
Snow. Nakamura caught out by the always lively Novo. Kuzan forced a little wide. Novo! Ferguson was in there as well, but it didn't reach him. Hutton. Typical of the way he's playing at the moment. Kuzan takes over. Caldwell clears. Only as far as McCulloch. Novo! It's in! Rangers are 2 up! Ferguson in the thick of it. And Celtic's day goes from bad to worse.
Well, it's all because Rangers are on the front foot, not allowing Celtic to play. They're picking up balls in midfield. Nakamura with a mistake initially, that gave Rangers the impetus to get forward, but once the ball dropped to Barry Ferguson, he had so much to do. And the ball eventually comes forward through Hutton. It's a nice ball in actually from Kuza into a dangerous area. Doesn't get clear well enough. It just drops for Ferguson. He turns and it's instinctive. He gets a bit lucky when it drops, but just look how aware he is of where that ball is. And he nips in between the 2 young centre halves.
Adam still has it. Oh, Charlie Adam goes down. Penalty! The Van der Snoe's challenge. Penalty for Rangers. And a chance to well and truly finish off Celtic.
That was just fantastic play from Charlie Adam. You see, it's that little change in the body angle. Catches Snow, it's a tired tackle. He's just stretching his leg out, no doubt at all. He's trying to say he didn't catch him, but he did.
It is Nacho Novo. It is 3-0. Novo, a man for the occasion. And this is one mighty occasion. Rangers have walloped Celtic. Bring on a proper title race.
Well, it's a well-taken pen. Boris goes the wrong way. No doubt about that one. Novo keeps it low, hits it hard. Doesn't really have to find the corner. Boris is already on the deck. You can see now the body language of the Celtic players. Nothing like the body language of Ali McCoy.
With the clock ticking down and Rangers 3-0 up, they put on a display for the crowd which Celtic could only watch.
Charlie Adam now. Rangers don't want to declare on 3. Every pass being applauded.
I think you can see that this fixture, as much as anything, okay, it's about quality, but it's also about attitude. And I think from the very beginning of this game, Rangers were that bit sharper, and I think they wanted it that bit more.
Charlie Adam suddenly saw room in front of him. Here's DeMarcus Beasley now. It's Alan Hutton on the overlap, of course it is. Beasley. Thompson. Able to hold off Yarosek. Charlie Adam, likewise. Here's Ferguson. Naismith making moves ahead of him. Ferguson still going. And he's got a free kick.
Well, there's plenty of showboating now from the Rangers players.
You have to win. That's the bottom line for you, and it's as simple as that at Rangers. It doesn't matter, what you think or what anybody else thinks or what reason there is for this or that or the next thing. The bottom line is you have to win, and hopefully we can continue to do as well as we possibly can, and that means obviously winning as much as we can.
Since the return of Walter Smith, the pride of the great club that is Rangers has grown. In January, few observers would have believed that they could reach the levels of performance they have achieved. They have proven their ability to take on the best, their oldest rivals, at every encounter. Smith has not yet had a full season under his belt, but already the resurgence of his club seems to be in safe hands.